Hi everybody, it's Marcy, and I'm here today still working on my April All About That Base Junk Journal Challenge with Dear Julie. Today, I am working on my pockets that flip up, flip down with journal space on the flip, and my envelopes. This is going to be a really quick video, so let's move on with it. For my flip up, flip down pockets, I've cut my book pages to 4.5 inches wide. When I make a journal, 4.5 inches is about as wide as I want my pockets, unless they're part of a page that is being folded up. Just so I've got room on the outside edge and am able to leave room on the inside signature edge. So 4.5 is what I've done. Of course, any size will work. Then all I'm doing, and I'm not measuring, I'm just folding up the bottom and folding down the top. Okay. And then for the inside of it, I am using, the other day as I was working, I was pulling out book pages that had blank space on them. So I'm taking that, using those and gluing those on the inside to make my journal space. And where did my tear ruler go? So in this case, I want the torn edge all the way around, so I'm just gonna attempt to tear that. That's already got a torn edge, but it's not, still a little wide. Like that. And on this one, because I will be gluing this in, be sure it's narrow enough, I will go ahead and ink around the edges of this. So I hope everybody's having fun with this challenge. I'm enjoying it because, you know, just collaging neutral book pages doesn't take a whole lot of thought, although I will say I'm not sure what I'm going to do for my unusual journal card with flipper fold. Okay. Then, just glue that down. If there's a little bit, like here's a page number that still shows, not worried about that because I can cover that up later when I go to embellish it. So just glue that down. Then on the outside, and I'm not going to do all of this here because you've seen me collaging enough. I will collage this top flap and the bottom flap. So when I'm done, what I've got is something like this. There's the inside, there's the bottom flap, and there's the top flap. And that's, the pocket portion will come in when I put it on the page. On a journal page, I will glue down the side, the bottom, and the left side, and then that will become my pocket. Now, I'm making these very simply and then leaving them like that because, depending on the journal that I use, I may want to give this more of a decorative edge, maybe using either some scissors or a border punch. So I don't want to be limited for a journal that I don't even know that I'm going to make yet on how I make these. So I'm keeping them very simple. On most of them, I've left enough room that I can add a little tuck here to help keep the top flap down. And in this, I could, even if I wanted to, say, cut them down and make like a little corner tuck, or I could cut them into a different shape. But I don't want to have to decide that when I'm making the bases for a journal that I haven't even conceived yet. So that is how I'm making my pocket flips. For my envelope flips, what I'm doing is, again, taking a book page, and I'm going to turn this upside down so I can see what I'm doing. I'm taking it's my right-hand corner, and just pulling it down to a spot, and I pay attention to what line I'm on the text. Then I can go over to this side, pull it down to the same line, and try to leave roughly the same amount of text showing. My corners don't have to be completely even, but that gives me makes them even enough. Okay, then I'm just going to use my glue stick and glue that flap down. And same thing with this flap. Okay. Then, again, I'm not measuring. I'm just folding my bottom edge up and my top edge down. And again, I oftentimes am using a line of text on the page to try to get it lined up as evenly as possible, and folding it down. So I've got a bit of a gap here between my book page and my edge page, which you want for an envelope. And I've got my envelope done. Then I am collaging the front flap, this, and this. Now for most of them, I'm remembering to, because I've got a lot of book text and stuff, I'm remembering to turn it. So it's right side up there. And then when this flips up, the text is right side up there. And then if the envelope is flipped over, it's right side up there. I did do one that I didn't get that done. But I'm trying. Now, the other thing is, and again, these I will go ahead and ink around, and then I will stitch them from this bottom side all the way around the edge and down to this side, because those are going to be envelopes, and that's not going to change in much of any way that would matter. So I don't see any reason not to go ahead and ink around them and sew around them to close up the envelope. You could just glue these edges down, but I like sewing. Now I've seen a lot of people do, and let me show you. This is actually the envelope that I forgot to turn all my book pages, but I've got it completely inked around, and I went ahead and sewed around the edges. So it's really a pretty good looking envelope, other than the fact that the text is upside down. I made sure that, well, I didn't make sure. As it turns out, the flap text is right side up. So I can just disguise that or just not worry about it. Here I put a bit of doily over the vast majority of the text just to push back where it's upside down. Now, I've seen a lot of people doing, including Julie, I believe, doing what I'm going to call sort of cluster collages, where they just take their book page and put a bit of tissue paper and maybe a bit of book page, but they're not covering the entire thing. And that's fine. There's no rules to this whatsoever. I prefer the fully collaged. Because my book pages are coming from a glue book that came from the Dollar Tree. And I just don't want to risk any foul language or any sensitive subjects being in there. And all the scraps that I am using that come from my big bin, I know to be good. They're from children's books, or they're from, I know them to be good. But for me, when I do the what I'm going to call kind of the cluster collage, to me for me, on mine, it always looks like something a first grader did. So for me, I much prefer the collage, and that gives me a great background to then build on when I add my embellishments. So that is how I'm making my envelopes and my pocket, my flip up, flip down pockets. And next time, I think I'm going to be working on my, my Ready Ruffle Roll. Like I said, the unusual journal card with the flipper fold, that one still got me a little bit stumped, so I'm going to have to give that one a little bit of thought. So until next time, everyone, please be safe, stay healthy, happy crafting, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.